Shut up and sit down.
So, Trevor, our man TJ, he's got a Super Bowl ring. There have been some tough losses in his career, but let's face it, these guys always get another. Nobody hurts like the fan hurts. Or at least that's what we like to convince ourselves, right? That the big guys don't cry. It really hurts us close to home. So my guess is, right, the Super Bowl, that's right up there at the top of your list. Great Packer memories.
Yeah.
And I want people to know that this is your idea. I'm not the masochist here, but you want to talk about painful parts of being a Packer fan, the things that hurt you. Give me the 5 things that still every once in a while that are tough to address, tough to. I got to have a Kleenex when I talk about these things.
I don't want to have a pity party. I'm just saying there have been some moments in Packer history, and listen, I understand that the 70s weren't great. Okay, like I know you're going to go there.
But that's fine.
I do not understand, actually. Here are my top 5 worst memories as a Packer fan. I just thought it was interesting. Here's number 5 for me. November 1st, 2009, Brett Favre came back to Lambeau Field in a Vikings jersey. And I lost my voice for 3 days. I booed him that hard. I was so over all of that. And then he beat us. And so that sucked.
So let me just tell you this. I'm sitting in Connecticut. I'm wonder what the thing's going to be when he runs out there. What are they going to do? And people say, do you have a reaction? I said, I really don't. I don't care one way or another. I'll wait and see. And he came out and he got booed. And I went, that was the wrong thing to do. It didn't hit me till then. It was the wrong thing to do.
The wrong thing to do was boo him in a Vikings jersey?
Yep. Wrong thing to do.
Moving on. We'll fight about that a different day. Here's my 4th, Super Bowl 32. I was young. We just won 31. It was great. Super Bowl 32. It could have been really, really magical. And John Elway was out of his mind. I believe he won 2 straight, right, and then retired. So
here's my John Elway impression. John Elway impression. Okay.
Oh, the helicopter that he did into the end zone. Memorable. Number 3 for me, the catch number 2. Remember this, John? 1999 NFC wildcard game. We were 8 seconds away from victory, and Terrell Owens somehow held on to this incredible 49ers catch in the end zone from Steve Young. There's just been a few of these things over the years where I remember where I was. I was, again, younger when that happened in 98. I was sophomore in high school, I think, maybe a junior. It was unbelievable. It just hurt. It was
colleague Steve Young.
Yeah.
Right. And I was fortunate enough to be the presenter for Leroy Butler when he went into the Packers Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to Steve about that play. And he said, here's the thing about Leroy Butler. He was so annoying because he was not only good, but he had the nasty habit of making sure everybody else was in the right place. Right? And he said, you couldn't look him off. He was too smart. And he said, so on that play, to score on Terrell Owens, he goes, I never took my eyes off him. I looked at him the entire time.
Wow.
And then I threw to Terrell Owens. Because I knew if I looked the other way, he would sniff it out and he'd go. He goes, I watched him on that play, and I watched his eyes, and I looked at him the whole way.
That's incredible insight. He was good, man. Leroy Butler was amazing. Wow. Okay. Here's number 2 for me. Brandon Bostic, NFC Championship game, 2015. Like, that was awful. Yeah. That was like that I left the house party I was at completely silent. And that's pretty rare. Like, that was awful. Really, really awful. And here's my number 1. I was there. It will be a moment I never, ever forget. It's overtime in the NFC Championship game, January 20th, 2008. It's Favre's last game as a Packer. I was sitting in the corner of the end zone, and Favre literally threw that, and I saw the whole thing unfold in slow motion, literally right before my eyes. And then maybe as a fan, as a lifelong Brett Favre fan, I was really hoping for this moment with Favre before he left the field. Right. It was so stupid cold. He threw his coat on, hoodie up, and he just ran off the field, and it was deflating as it gets as a Packer fan. I don't want to. What about you? Are there a couple moments at least that you can?
And so that's why you boot him. And so then you boot him.
I booed him because he showed up in purple and gold.
Okay.
Right. Would you not have booed him if you were there? Out of curiosity.
Listen, my contract's almost up. If I go to Fox, you're going to boo me?
No, I mean I like ESPN, but it's not like that's totally different.
Just wonder. No, I guess you're supposed to be a Packer forever. You can't. You know, then they sent him to the Jets.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Did you boo him? Would you have booed him if he was a Jet?
No, I bought his Jets jersey.
So it's the Viking thing you have a problem with.
Yes, it was awful. And we all knew that's where he wanted to end up anyway and beat the Packers because he had it out for the organization. Sounds a little familiar right now. And yeah, just saying it. Yeah, you got to boo him. When he came, what?
Okay.
Yes, I booed him.
Okay. Wrong thing to do, but that's fine for another day.
Hey,
we want to get back to TJ Lang, so that's fine. We'll leave it at. Listen, mine are quick. I don't have 5 painful memories. I have one really bad one, which people are going to hate me because it was the Marco miracle, and you're like, how is that painful? Well,
right.
Because as at that age, there was nobody in the world I liked better than Walter Payton. He was my favorite player. I don't care that I was a Packer fan and sat at Lambeau Field. Walter Payton was my favorite player, and so I was all set. And they were going to win, and Walter Payton was going to be happy, and so I was going to be happy. And Alan Page comes through the line. He blocks Chester Marcole's kick, and I turn around because I'm in the kids section at that time. I'm in row 1 in that end zone, even though Marcole's running the other way. And I turn around to my buddies who are in the stands, right? And I'm like, look at that, yes. And they turn around, they're going like this. And so then I turn around just to see him go around the end zone and in for the score and to lose the game. So, yeah, I turned around and celebrate. Only so after it got blocked, I didn't see most of the play because I was trying to, show up my flex for my buddy. And they're all like,
turn around.
And found out that Walter Payton did not win the game. So, anyway, you could probably boo me for that because I rooted for the Bears in Lambeau Field one time for Walter Payton. And then the other painful memory I have, this is in comforts 2 through 5, which is just my childhood. If you take out 1970, I was a kindergartner, right? To 1982, which was the last football season I was there in town for, my senior year, graduating in 83. Man, there's not much in there. Those were some hard times. And so you're talking about, oh my gosh, Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Those are the 2 quarterbacks you knew, dude.
Fair. I understand.
Right? I don't think you have any Randy Wright memories. Lynn Dickey gave us some shining moments. David Whitehurst tried. But Jim Delgado was a disaster, and John Hadel was a disaster, and Scott Hunter was a disaster. I know in 72 they won the division under Dan Devine, but it was just this parade of mediocrity that came through. And it was hard to be a Packer fan as a kid, which is why so many of my buddies and I kind of had an alternate team, right? That made it why I wanted to watch Walter Payton. The Bears weren't in any great shakes, but Walter Payton was great.
Really good.
They had one guy. The Packers had just a little bit here and there. John Brockington was there for a couple, 3 or 4 years. He was the first running back ever to gain 1,000 yards his first 3 years in the league. So you had him for a while, and then he fell off. James Lofton, when he came through, was magical. You're like, we've never seen anybody that good and that graceful when I was a kid. Tough times. So to pick just 5 out of there would be to be cheating, the other 6 or 8 that would be equally painful and terrible. So, and if you're my age, everyone knows what I'm talking about, which is
understood.
You and your generation are spoiled. Get off my lawn.
Shut up and sit down.